Signal Ultra. Do they go into the reserve time? Maybe they do. A quick draft's a good draft.
Seconds remaining.
Spent a bit of time on this.
Remaining.
I'm actually thinking about it quite heavily.
It seems like they might not be sure what else TNC would want to pull out. I mean, Gyro Io is a duo in and of itself. It's an iconic duo. We've seen a lot of it. So it leaves the rest of the draft really open. And that just kind of puts into mind, what exactly do you want to ban out? They go with the Omni Knight. They don't want that added durability, added sustain, on top of that Gyrocopter IO combination, which is already very potent. It's a fair enough move to make. Gonna be keen to see what exactly they pick up as their cores. I mean, you already know that pos one you're facing up against. You already know what strat TNC does have somewhat in mind. So you can work around that. That's one of the things that does happen when you go with this kind of opening from TNC.
Signal Ultra goes straight into the Ember Spirit, and of course we do see the Embers quite a lot, especially even back in the day up against this Gyrocopter IO, because they're always together, so you can always almost guarantee a double chains. Of course, the Ember can just blow up the IO before even starting the team fight. Makes me question, what year are we in, John? These drafts, they just feels like it's like 5 years ago, and it's like TI3 or TI4 or something like that. TNC Predator.
It does. Really feels like a blast from the past, and we'll see exactly what they have in mind to draft around this. We could see. I don't think they're going to go all the way back to the past, like with something like Disruptor. You tend to not see that here too often, but I can see a couple things that could come out. The Shadow Shaman is, of course, really good. Up against that Ember Spirit, gives you that instant lockdown of the Hex and the Shackles to keep that slippery hero in place. So I like that from TNC Predator. Just keeping a lid on how far Signal Ultra can push that hero. James, you're not going to have the easiest time getting in and out this time around.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Signal Ultra. Fourth pick now. They'll go for the Axe pickup, so an Axe offlane coming out for this die side. Another nice pick against the Gyrocopter IO. Again, if you can just catch both in the call, they can't really do much to sustain that Gyrocopter while the call is going on, unless you have an OD to just Astral one of those heroes away, or even the Axe for that matter. And of course, the OD is just generally really damn good against the Axe and the Ember. So TNC already looking pretty darn good going into this.
Definitely are. I do think that Signal Ultra, taking that Axe in is nice, but it's actually kind of hard when you are playing against a ranged core. They tend to stand further back. It's much harder to catch them in a clumped up area with anything else that could proc your Helix. I like the ban out from TNC. Banning out that Brood does take away... Oh my god. What is that hero?
I don't...
What?
What's going on here? Oh,
what?
That's disgusting.
Oh,
Sniper comes out for Signal Ultra. KP's Underlord pops up. I am very confused, John. As we were last series, what happened? It seems like everyone's just lost their minds. Is it getting too late for these guys or something?
Look, Underlord is a hero I love.
That's the problem. It's a terrible hero.
Yeah, exactly. It's not doing too well right now. I believe the only reason you take it in right now is because of the relocation tool you have with the IO, perhaps, and that durability that you naturally bring into yourself. You mitigate the damage coming out here from the enemy team. Although there's not anyone that really right-clicks too much except Nando, and Jamesy's going to be out of range. But it's an interesting choice nonetheless. It gives you a good amount of control. I guess holding people down during the call down and during the middle of the team fights with your pit is quite strong. The last pick from Cignal Ultra is what also raises a question mark in my mind. James C. Sniper is going to be interesting to watch. I'm honestly not too sure why the Sniper came out here. They have the Axe, but Axe hates playing against the Sniper. Playing with the Sniper is just kind of okay for him. Gonna be interesting to see what exactly they have in mind here. We have seen the Sniper once before in a match, and I do believe it actually lost. So we'll see if Cignal Ultra can make it work for them here. They did jump into it fairly quick. Nando and that Ember Spirit is an interesting shakeup. I think, in my mind, I do see Nando as a phenomenal Faceless Void player. So seeing him on the Ember should be interesting. It's a change of pace for Cignal Ultra. We'll see if they can match the aggression that TNC Predator is known to pump out. Even with this lineup, they don't tend to relent. And they really just keep that pressure up. If Cignal Ultra can tide through that early aggression, they might get enough space for themselves to get big.
Prepare for battle.
It's kind of intriguing to me you do go for the Sniper. Considering Gabby could just essentially get relocated straight on top of the Sniper and just blow him up straight away. Bit of a worrying sign. They must have a lot of faith in Jamesy on this Sniper to allow him to play this in a game like this. I mean, they did last pick it. Still. Then again, KP's playing Underlord. Maybe it's a really good hero and we just don't know, John.
I mean, I know. There was a moment where we saw a lot of Underlord last year. And he was just all over the place just because of the strength of his flash farming, of course, as a core. And yeah, off lane, Firestorm is just really strong to clear out camps and clear out heroes. It's just that kind of playstyle has really diminished over time. So, I mean, KP has done a fantastic job so far throughout all these close qualifiers. So, of course, if there is a player that can make this work, it's KP. Let's see what exactly they do have in mind, as it looks like they will send KP to lane against Van.
Well, Van theoretically may struggle in this lane, right? Like, the Firestorm isn't the most pleasant thing to have to go up against for an Axe. Van might even, its lane switch already is, March is harassing quite heavily. What's he up to here? Is he just going to creep skip straight away? Looks like he may. Though it's not going to be pleasant when a Shadow Shaman who has 74 right-click damage already is just going to be smacking up onto you. Van going to turn around now. He is waiting for that creep wave. He's going to try and pull it away. And yeah, he'll just pull it away, though. No, he's lost it. He doesn't actually stop. Salves up. Meanwhile, top lane, Io's in trouble. Tim's, he will end up going down. The tri-lane of Cignal pays off very early on. And Van, he does end up catching the wave again. And so he is going to continue this creep skip, but he's going to ensure he's in front of that tier 2 tower.
Yeah, it's fair enough. He should be able to find himself a good amount of EXP this way. And he's going to be very happy with that. Does grab his level 2. It's going to be harder for March to trade this way.
It's that mid lane, the Jamesy Sniper versus Armel's OD. It'll be slightly annoying for Armel, just getting right click every 2 seconds. The quite annoying little bit of harassment from the Sniper. Armel can't really close the distance too easily to go for the Astral Imprisonment. Tim's again going to end up going down top lane.
It's rough. It's not the best dual lane in the world when you're applying this much pressure with a tri-lane. Io is very squishy early on. The Teeter is, interruptible now, if I recall right. So you can't quite just get in and out. And it takes a couple of levels for the potency of that Gyrocopter to really kick in. So this is some good work coming out from Cignal, just applying that pressure onto TNC.
Armel gonna end up going down. Shrapnel's out. Eris really setting up. Already 3 kills from this Tiny being set up, they'll lose Armel now. And Eris will just go straight back up to the top lane. Tims is by himself. This could be disastrous for him as Eris runs past, will find Tims, has the toss available, doesn't quite use it, and now he does. Grimm's disruption, no, he will throw it out. Eris will just wait with the avalanche, though Tether will be there, but they could still chase this. But Eris has to be careful about the rocket barrage. And so Tims will get away with his life intact, but man, is this lane rough.
It certainly is rough, and I like these early movements coming out from Cignal, maximizing their early advantage here. Knowing that TNC did go for a draft that farms quite hard. You know, that OD requires some farm to get online. KP's Underlord does just farm up, really. That's all the hero does in the laning phase. And the Gyrocopter as well needs EXP and farm, along with that IO. So they're going to be really weak in this laning phase. Cignal is just abusing that quite well. That could cost TNC if they're not going to find an opportunity to bounce back in. Does look they rotate March up top to try to get themselves some space for Gabby.
March. Be there with Tims, looking for Grims on the Shadow Demon. Doesn't really have a way to lock down Grims though quite yet. An avalanche from Eris to the toss back to the Shadow Demon Grims. And they do interrupt that tether. And Tims is going to die for the third time this game. All 3 kills going to the way of Nando on the Ember. And so 0-4 right now for the side of Cignal. And if they can keep this up, they may indeed take the first game off TNC.
Yeah, that would be a massive upset just in terms of the odds. A lot of people are still favoring TNC here. And Cignal is just showing them why you can't underestimate these guys. They just can cause these kinds of early game upsets. And if they carry that momentum, there might not be enough space for TNC to farm up. The only hero finding really good farm right now is KP. He's already 6 at 4.5 minutes in. So he's having a grand old time down here at bot. The question is, will an Underlord influence the game that hard?
Well, you know, we didn't think the core Undying would before, and it did. We didn't think the position 1 Pudge would, and it did. I wonder if the Underlord is the next new hero to pop up in this meta. For SCA anyway. Is Nando going to run in after March? Eris is there with the avalanche if necessary. They're going to catch March out. Nando now on a dominating, and he might find a secondary as he's chasing Tims down. Tims is very, very low. He does not have tether. He's gone. A double kill for Nando. Eris making a run. Rocket barrage. Nando may have gone too far forward now. But no, Grims is there just in case. And that's going to mean a 5-0 now for this Ember Spirit.
It's a fantastic start for this safe lane Ember. Nando once again showing us why he is a really good safe laner. We see this from Cignal every single time so far. They just give Nando all the opportunities to find these kills, and Nando does not relent. He's not the kind of court to stay back, farm up. He tries to find these kills as well. Active, staying with his team. In fact, there's some activity down mid again. Armel could be in a tough spot.
Van's getting chased down. Armel, he gets tossed back towards the T1 tower. Van is still outrunning them, and will be able to run away. The 3 heroes could not catch out the axe. He'll just salve up and probably return back into the lane. Armel also gets away with his life intact, though. Well, nobody's been up the top lane. KP says, you know what, let me take care of this Ember Spirit. And Nando will oblige. It's a bit late to make this lane switch now that Nando's gotten that much gold out of golden XP out of this lane, but it's KP's problem now. It's Armel, mid lane, assassinate, gonna come out from Jamesy. Won't be enough as the Fairy Fry did come out from Armel. Now the toss back from March. And Eris again setting up what looks to be another kill. He will pick it up himself on the Tiny. That's a 1-7 now for the side of Cignal Ultra. Slight net worth lead as well. It's not overly massive, but it is getting there.
It's a rough start for TNC. We haven't seen these guys pushed against a wall like this in a long time. Certainly not in these qualifiers, and they are taking it from Cignal. Signal's definitely bringing that aggression out and working your draft to its fullest potential. It is a bit worrying, but very good signs of life from Cignal. am really keen to see how they itemize on Jamesy this time around. Are they going to go for something a bit different? Maybe rush that Maelstrom first, or opt for the Dragonlance for the added range, durability? Gonna be interesting to see how this progresses either way. But KP, he's still got 2 levels ahead of Nando. He's working this Underlord quite well, maximizing that farm with the Firestorm. And in that sense, really just building up, clearing out stacks made by Cignal as well.
Bot lane. Dunked straight on Gabby. Tim's sitting duck now. He understands he's just dead. Van was going to dunk him, but Eris will take the kill on the Tiny. And that'll help with the Blink Dagger timing once again for this Tiny. And a 1-9 now. Gyrocopter really hasn't got much farm going for him. Gabby, he's been struggling quite a lot.
Ooh. That Assassinate nearly took out KP as he was going to that shrine. Not quite enough. I believe the cloak might have just given him a little bit of an edge on top of that slight regen he got from the shrine right before he got assassinated.
Eris, Grims, trying to get away from the side of TNC as they do chase the Tiny. The disruption will be enough to ward TNC off. While all that's happening, Van, he will just secure the T1 bot tower. And it's not like Cignal Ultra are overly farmed. I mean, they are just finding kills very early on. TNC certainly still in this game by a long shot. I mean, there's only a 1k advantage right now. Just what timing will it be till TNC can actually fight back? Because it just feels like they've got no hope of fighting back for the moment.
And certainly at this moment, it's not feasible for them to take these fights. You're probably going to be waiting for at least more levels on this IO, maybe level 6 coming out in Tim's, along with a couple of durability items for KP to allow them to sustain that bombardment coming out from Cignal. Once he has the Hood of Defiance, if he's going to transition to the pipe, that's going to be helping out his team massively. But he might be able to find Nando, but if he does... Oh, he's going in.
Sends a Remnant out. March doesn't have Hex yet. He only has Shackle, although he does hit level 4. Picks up the Hex. It's like bot lane. Disruption is going to be there on Gabby. They're going to make a chase, but he does have help around the corner. Mel, he'll go for the Astral. Do they want to try and turn this? It doesn't look like they will, as Eris does pop his face up on the Tiny.
Oh.
And instead, they will go for bounties. And, well, no, Nando does not want to allow them to take these bounty runes for themselves. He does get shackled, however. He may just need to walk out of there now. And in the end, it will be a 2-for-2 trade on those bounty runes after a little bit of a scuttle.
Yeah, overall, it's still a really good time here for Cignal. Still applying that pressure on the map. They have secured themselves a 2k net worth lead now. You do want to see that escalate a bit more. But TNC is certainly still in the game. They've managed to finish up that Veil of Discord onto Armel. So he has some tools to really take these fights now. At the very least, pump up the damage a bit more. In fact, he finds Eris, but unable to get anything done. And it's on TNC to just kind of farm up here. Right? They have a lot of catch-up to play. Especially on Gabby. They're going to have to wait for the Gyrocopter to be ready to take these fights. But before then, they're just going to have to try to avoid as best as they can.
Love the itemization from Nando, though. Drums straight into the Spirit Vessel is what he wants to get. It's ensuring that Io won't have the capability to really heal up the Gyrocopter. So it's not your standard sort of build for the Ember, but it does really pay dividends. You do just throw it on the Io. Of course, KP will also suffer from that. Nando will pop his head up at the top lane again. KP just continues to be the top of the net worth. Mid lane, Jamesy will end up fighting March and the Shaman. Jamesy hasn't really revealed what he's trying to go for. The top lane, Nando. Remnants out with the Sleight of Fist. There will be a TPN from Jamesy. Immediate Dark Rift from KP. They deny off the T1 tower. The Dark Rift will send them back. So, bot lane. Bit of action going on. Grims getting denied off of the neutrals. Eris, how dare you? He tosses him into the neutral camp just to get a deny off on Grims. So he denies it away from TNC. They will find him in the end, so they will pick up this kill. But what a disgusting play from Eris.
Yeah, it has been excellent so far from Cignal. Really just clearing out this map, 2-10, 2K network lead at 12 minutes in for Cignal, and really just a fantastic opening. These guys have been on point. It's the first time we've seen TNC really struggle, and they do finally get 6 and Tims, but they're not in a position to maximize that Gyro Ayo combo with Gabby just yet. They can't really find any safe target to take out because Gabby's farm is still pretty lackluster. 4.5k, struggling in the middle of the pack.
You know you're struggling on a gyrocopter when you have to rush a BKB. It's just... Every time we've seen that BKB rush, it just doesn't really pan out so well either, because he ends up having such a short BKB duration once you get to that late game. And during the mid game, it just doesn't really leave you with much damage.
It definitely doesn't, but it's understandable why he'd go for it. The magic damage coming out from Cignal and the control is way too much. The smoke up, they're going to find March. Not the best target, but a kill's a kill.
They'll chain him up. They look for more. A toss from Eris, a dunk from Van. Now Armel farming up Ancients. They may find him as well. Now that'd be a massive pickup in Eris. He spots him out. Van, he has a Blink Dagger, and maybe they don't spot him out? Perhaps they just don't want to fight around the shrine. They TP back down to the bot lane instead. Again, with this Blink, you can get some great call initiations. Van, though, he'll just settle for farming up. He wants to pick up that Blade Mail for now. I can't blame. I mean, they're still ahead. They're still in a good position. There's no need to rush this for them. And Jamesy, by the way, is indeed going for a Maelstrom on the Sniper.
Yeah, it's a typical build, especially after that Maelstrom. Just go for the machine gun sniper build. And that just basically lets you do what you want. Just stand back, let out that damage. Not much the enemy team can do. They don't have natural gap closers beyond that relocate, and it's just not coming out at this point in the game. No damage yet, no sustainability yet to speak of, so it's going to be a while until TNC is really online. You look at Armel as well. Beyond that Veil of Discord, he has not progressed, saving up for that blink to allow him to at least blink out after an imprisonment if he needs to. So once that's up, he should feel a bit safer. Allows him to also play offensively as well, of course. But it's not advisable, not especially with what Cignal has.
We look at KP. Full pipe up, going to the Yules next on the Underlord. Gabby has the Mithril Hammer up, one step closer to that BKB. He has already queued up the Aghanim Scepter straight after that. There's that Spirit Vessel we talked about from Nando as well on the Ember. With that, he may look to make more plays with his team. Thing is, TNC are rather split up and aren't really showing on the map.
Yeah, they're just, again, taking it slow, trying to split up that farm here. And, really are giving a lot of space to Cignal, though. Does look like they will get a push going down. But now they don't naturally push fast, but when you clump up all your heroes like this, just lay it on with no defense, towers still melt.
Well, there'll be no defense whatsoever.
I want to talk about something else for a bit, Mike, while the state of the game is still kind of static. There is one situation where we will have 2 tiebreakers, and I'm not sure if this is going to make you very happy, Mike. If TNC somehow managed to 2-0 this, that does bring Geek Fam down. That does bring Ultra down to 1-1. Guess who else is 1-1 right now?
Who's that?
In score? Geek Fam is also 1-1. So if TNC somehow rides through this wave, 2-11, 2K network lead for Cignal, and turn it around, and then get the next game as well, Mike, we'd have 2 tiebreakers running. And isn't that amazing?
Well, that's okay, John. We don't need to sleep. It's fine.
We don't get paid to sleep, Mike.
No, we don't. That is true. Mid lane is pushing in by the creeps. Nando, though, is going to be looking for a target to try and jump on. Doesn't really find one. Nobody on the side of TNC is really staying alone. Everyone has their own little partner, apart from KP, who is rather tanky. Can't afford to be alone on the Undying. Or excuse me, the Underlord. Blade Mail now will be up for Axe. That's going to really help Van dish out even more damage during those calls. He's already level 12 as well. Like, I'm surprised Cignal Ultra isn't trying to really push the or whatever it is, just push this mana against TNC and just force them to try and fight.
It is a bit of a risk right now that they are letting TNC play this catch-up gold. The lead that they have with kills does not translate to a very good network lead. 2K with 9 kills ahead is not amazing. Honestly, it does not paint you the full picture. There is a smoke now though. Cignal still applying that pressure, trying to find someone.
Might find Tim's. Nando spots him out. Pops the haste rune. Doesn't get the chains off though. Doesn't matter. Avalanche is there to set up and they just dunk straight away. KP tried to TP in time to help out, but just wasn't there fast enough. Now do they even bother trying for the Underlord? No, Nando, he just goes straight behind onto the Shaman. Tries to juke out with the Remnants, but not quite. Avalanche still will help out and take down March. They hold him in place, but Van with the call is pretty massive. Gabby almost dead. In fact, the Assassinate does take him out. Van trying to run away from Armel. Armel will at least find one, but they do lose 3 in the process. And Eris is pretty low as well. Tim's going to scout out with those spirits. Armel, who'll have a blink in 1 second. They'll have to leave it be as Eris does blink away. So 3 to 14. Net worth remains the same at 2K for the side of Cignal Ultra. The one saving grace right now is just Armel on the OD. He's the scariest man.
He's doing fantastic.
Yeah.
He definitely is. He's pumping out that damage while TNC is unable to rely on Gabby. I really want to talk about KP's Underlord for a bit. I think we've seen this before. Not this specific build, of course, but this kind of situation with the Underlord core when it was off meta. And the situation is that no one checks up on him. He just farms up entire game, comes in with something like an AC, Pipe, and Crimson Guard, and suddenly no one on the opposite team is killable. And Guardian Greaves on top of that. I believe that's what ended up happening one game. And that can be a disastrous situation. That's a lot of durability that will go out if you let them farm up that long.
Nando jumps in. Eris though. Avalanche toss is massive on Armel. He's lost a lot of HP. Tims is trying to heal him up and KP running straight forward. Armel, he does manage to blink out of there and shrine up. Meanwhile, a call down in the back. Van is on Gabby by himself, but Van doesn't have any help and looks like he may die. Relocate. Yeah, they have him in place. The Pit of Malice is there, and he will take the kill. So a nice team fight for TNC. They don't find much, but they find one hero and they lose none.
They are turning it around, Mike. Like 4 to 14, they're maintaining that 2K network gap, and they are turning these initiations from Cignal around. That was a rough fight for Cignal to force out. They went up the high ground. They got the call of the axe on the sideline with Gabby, but couldn't really follow it up because they were spread out. Really odd to force that situation as it was.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still, you look at Jamesy, he's farming up way too fast now on the sniper. After he got that Midas Maelstrom, went straight into the Dragonlance. He's going to finish off a BKB. He's starting to hit very, very hard. Of course, they still do have the relocate to try and jump Jamesy from the back. But even then, like, he's going to be hitting so hard if his farm keeps up like this.
Oh, Nando?
Be alright, he'll just remnant out.
It's got to be careful, though. You cannot underestimate what could happen at root. If there's a follow-up stun, you're just going to get immediately rooted again.
Armel does manage to pick up his own BKB. So he's ready to fight for the side of TNC. Of course, Gabby has one as well. 10-second charge available. Doesn't really have much damage available on the gyrocopter, apart from all the magic damage, but still can fight a Signals. They do smoke up and Van jumps straight in. Double call, Avalanche toss, and they just blow up. Now straight to that Roshan. Van has been doing a fantastic job with these blink calls. TNC, they can't buy back on Gabby. They will try and delay this, but KP now getting caught out. The avalanche toss, it just destroys him. Armel. The buyback will be there from KP. He'll Dark Rift back towards his own shrine. They will at least save themselves from losing a Roshan to Cignal Ultra. Thing is, they may have to just go try and take it themselves now. No, they will not.
That was a pretty costly Roshan denial, though. 2 buybacks on some pretty hefty heroes. I think the buyback on KP is the biggest one. So you have a massive opening here for Cignal if you abuse that fact. But it looks like TNC is going to be happy with that. Just staving off that Roche fight, getting themselves more time to farm, and trying to get themselves online. Now, Gabby on this gyro still has a lot of catch up to play. He's at 8.5k net worth. You take a look at number 1, 13k. That is the sniper. Second place, Armel, OD, 12k net worth. So it's not a good picture right now. He does have that PKB, but the damage is lacking, the EXP is lacking. There's a lot more to work with, to work towards for TNC.
Well, smoke comes out from TNC now. Seemingly confident. Armel got his BKB up. Maybe that makes all the difference. He still didn't pop at that last team fight. Mid lane though, who have they found? KP gets caught out. They've got the high ground advantage here if they want to try and dive this TNC, but the Roshan again going to be taken. Still a great ideal way to try and jump Jamesy right now as he's kind of in the back. They are going to go in. Armel will get started. Astral Sanity's being dropped immediately. James, he's in an awkward position, but, well, errors. Avalanche toss. Tim's is gone. James, he's been left alone. March goes down as well. Nando, does he keep going? He got the Chain Spirit Vessel straight onto Gabby, and he'll probably just tick out. In fact, the toss will be there anyway. They lost another in Grims, and Armel just got to try and run away. It's a 2-for-4 trade in the end. Still working out in the favor of Cignal Ultra. Especially if they find Van. Astral will be there. Eris won't be able to cancel that TP. As a TNC, I mean, although they did lose 4 in comparison to the 2 of Cignal, they actually got quite a bit of gold out of that.
They certainly did. It's on their biggest hero as well, so Armel is definitely going to be happy with that. He is going to be working towards that sheep stick instead, so the Sight of Vice is going to be coming out. Just trying to get himself that added int, that added control. We have seen a lot of ODs once that item was picked up. Very easy to press anyone down in that Sanity's Eclipse. So we'll see if that changes the pace here for TNC, if they manage to get the time to farm it up. 6 to 21, 25 minutes in. 7k net worth lead for Cignal. Still looking fantastic for them. They're still finding everything on this map. And they are still very effective in these team fights.
Bot lane Nando. It's going to be Tim's and Gabby, and he'll immediately remnant out. March, top lane, has gone pretty far, may get caught out because of this. Van blinks forward, wants to find him. Armel is there though. That is a dangerous kill to try and go for, but Armel just leaves him. Serpent Ward's being dropped. March has been left alone.
Man.
What a shame.
I mean, those wards are the big one. Just that cooldown is pretty massive. It's a good amount of gold going away of Cignal as well, which is unfortunate. I think March expected Armel to stay around there, but Armel knew better. He knew that there would be backup. Still pretty close by that shrine. So he saves himself. A bit of a waste from March, but it's all good. You save your OD. Armel just goes back to farming, saving up for that Sight of Vice.
KP going to be in position to try and defend that tier 1 top tower. Nando won't push too far forward. TNC slowly but surely getting farm up on Gabby. It's like he may have the full Ags up. In fact, he just needs the Ogre Club now. The Ags won't really change too much quite yet, but at least it's a start for Gabby. You look at James, he's got the Hurricane Pike up. I believe it's on the Courier. And I kind of wonder what he goes for next. But in terms of farm, he's top of the net worth board again. And he still hasn't got one really big, massive damage item yet. He's just the Maelstrom is all he has. This is that point. Once you get the Hurricane Pike, you can just go for something big, like a Daedalus or something like that, to really start escalating that damage output.
It really will speed up once that next item is revealed. I take a look at his talent choices. I actually really like this. He went for cooldown reduction, and on top of that, he got the Assassinate cast time. So it's just going to be plinging away. Those Assassinates, not much of aim period, just 0.5 seconds. So if there is a kill op, should be very easy to follow up.
Mel, though, he has the Scythe of Vice up now on the OD. Well, let's find out very, very well. Look at KP, and he's trying to go for what looks like a Lotus Orb. They're just trying to get those aura items up, help out the team. Plus, the Aghanim Scepter did just finish as well on the Gyrocopter. James, he just attacking that tier 1 tower from a mile away. Nando gonna show himself. Bit of malice will be there to hold him in place for a bit. Tier 1 tower, KP, he'll get the deny off. Nice deny from him. That'll be the end of that.
Yeah, just a safe push coming out from Cignal. No rush from these guys. They know they have the Sniper. They have the Ember Spirit. They have the Tiny that scales as well. No rush for them. They understand that TNC does have ways of taking these fights as well. I'm not sure if they spotted out that Hex on Armel just yet, but there is a smoke now from TNC.
Eris gonna find Tims by himself. The Gyro is kind of close by and he will just tether forward, though Eris is not giving up. Relocate, Tims, he's left Gabby behind.
Oh.
Gabby has a TP in 5 seconds. They kind of know the shrapnel is slightly to the left. James, will you throw another one? Throws it the other way, though. He's found him.
They find him.
The Aghanims actually attacks Jamesy. So the side gunner reveals his location in the end. And now Tims with the relocate gonna end up dying as well. Oh my. This is not working out very well for the TNC side.
It definitely is. This is really highlighting the weakness of the IO gyro combination against the wrong lineup. Cignal has been abusing the fact that it takes a while for it to go in line now. So they go with a lineup that just gets up there in a snap, applies that pressure. They are set for the high ground push now if they so desire.
Uh-oh. There's the Aghanim Scepter for the Ember Spirit.
Oh, on work already. March, not safe.
Yeah, March. Trying to run. TP is actually maybe gonna... No, he's not. He's dead.
No. Nando now, 9-0. Not dying once yet. Really on point, as always, for Cignal.
Fortification will be forced out. KP gonna try and defend as the Underlord. March may be forced to buy back, though. Avalanche is gonna be there from Eris. Who's he aiming for? Stuck in the tree line. Will force himself out of there. They just want this tier 3 tower, I believe, before they do back out. Meldo jumps in with the Hex, but there's the call from Van. Straight away stopping that harassment. Van dealing damage by the Blade Mail. Gabby will be KB up as well, but Tim's getting jumped on by Nando. Still nobody dying quite yet. Nando just wanting to get out with his team. Everyone kind of low, and TNC, they want to try and capitalize off this the best they can. But it does look like Cignal Ultra are out of there. And yep, they'll just TP up. That'll be the end of that.
Rather unfortunate that they didn't manage to get that tier 3 down bot, but they do a lot of damage to it. Drops down to 330 HP, should be a very easy cleanup the next time they take that high ground. There is a smoke out in TNC though. Looks like they want to force a fight again.
They want Nando. They know he's around here somewhere. Hex will be straight out onto the sniper instead. Sanity's being dropped, but there's the disruption. They've got no way to really save him after this, though, and Gabby does pick up the kill. Now the Yules from KP onto that support Shadow Demon. Nando, while he has a double damage, can't really help out, though. Van jumps in with the call. They're going to go for the fight. Blade Mail popped as well. They get one. In fact, no, they don't. The Astral saves him, but, well, the Dark Rift will get him out. So they got Tim's. KP will send him out of there. Buyback was there from Grims on the Shadow Demon as well.
You got rocks in your head.
So 7k net worth lead, 8 to 26, 33 minutes of this game. Win probability, believe it or not, is still almost 50-50. Only slightly the way of Cignal Ultra by 3%.
I honestly don't blame them. Again, you take a look at that scoreboard, 8 to 26 seems pretty terrifying, but the net worth lead has never really swung too far. 6k, that's the highest it's been so far.
Oh, Van finds a solo kill onto Gabby. This is definitely not Gabby's game on the Jara. He's having a very rough time.
Really is. Just, his timings are off. His farm has been subpar for his standards. It's really not a shining show for him. Fortunately enough, Armel is picking up the pace here. She's really doing a lot of work for TNC right now. On top of that, KP has been on point with his spell usage. Just that retreat and him using that Dark Rift whenever you need to. Really paying off dividends.
Cignal. Looks like they're gonna pop a smoke. Grims is holding one in the bag right now.
Relocate?
Down the bot lane. Just a quick farm up. The Cignal Ultra did draw out a line around the Radiant Shrine, and KP gonna actually run into them. Grims gonna try and scout him out. They do get the call off once again. Ban just on point, but Armel jumps in. He wants to fight. Disruption is there on Armel. They're gonna find March, but no, the Hex comes out from Armel to save Shadow Shaman. The Assassinate will find him in the end. Nando BKB's up. He has to run his way out. He has no remnants available. James has been left alone. He'll just man fight Gabby, and poor Gabby, he has the BKB up just to get away. And so another little win for Cignal Ultra. They force out the buyback from KP and they will find 2 kills. TNC, though, are still holding on.
They definitely are. They're trying not to bleed as much space as possible. Still keeping themselves somewhat alive. That is another buyback on KP, though. That's the second buyback he's had to throw out to prevent any more losses. Which, in a sense, is worthwhile.
Armel has caught out the Tiny. Nice little pickup for the side of the Radiant. It will be Armel to pick up Eris. That's the one thing that's the one hero you can't really walk into. You walk into Armel, it's probably going to mean you're dead. They will go after that bot T1 tower, which is still standing down at the bot lane. Do they go for more? Looks like they are going to try, so they're going to push the issue here down to the bot. Go for that tier 2 as well. Just take advantage of every tower they can get. Nando basically doing the same thing down at the bot lane with those double siege creeps. Armel, though, will TP down. But the job has already been done. In fact, nice deny from Armel. Just quickly. In fact, both towers have been denied. Jamesy got the other tier 2.
Fairly even trade from both sides. You take a look at that map now. Even in terms of map control. Quite equally matched. Mid lane, tier 2s, last one standing. The only difference is that tier 3 down bot is heavily injured. So it's down to Cignal again to force the issue. Try to find that first tier 3 of the match. But they are kept in severe check here. 8k net worth lead at 9 to 29 scoreboard. 37 minutes in. And we have not progressed as much as you'd expect, but there is a slow build up here. They might find March once again.
Radiant structures.
Chains, yep, Nando, he will confirm the chains. And Nando, that'll be his 11th kill of the game. Still yet to drop a death on this Ember. Has picked up the Lincolns as well. You've also got the tiny Aghanim Scepter up on Eris, so Tree Volley is alive. And perhaps with that they go down to the bot, because like the bot lane is so easy to push in once you've got that Tree Volley available. That Lincoln's on the Ember, those hexes aren't going to be quite as threatening. Cignal, go through to that mid lane. They want that tier 2 tower first. They'd love a fight from TNC, but TNC are taking the most cautious fights they possibly can. They aren't taking any risks. So they might even split push that top lane a bit. But Tim's with the relocate. We'll send Gabby out.
Is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Should force a rotation back up to that top lane to defend, but perhaps Cignal just say, screw that, let's go back down bot. That is exactly what they do for now. TNC may not actually go for the team fight, but rather just force them back with Gabby and Tims.
Is under attack.
Jamesy does get the tier 3 tower, and it looks like that'll be it. They're going to go after the shrine instead.
Is under attack.
There's a lot of patience from both sides.
Is under attack.
Going for the safe objectives, going for the safe kills. Surprised that the Rosh has not been a consideration. Like, the first Roshan is still in the pit. So it's just the Aegis at 39 minutes in.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
I have Scotty now on the sniper, so Jamesy. Then I have Scotty can just slow down people from such a long mile away, and
Dire's
not much they can do about it.
is under attack.
Going to be going to that Daedalus as that final item, I believe, on that sniper. Has put it in the quick buy. Bot lane, Tims and Gabby. Split pushing that tier 3 tower, relocate back out. And so they are just going to rat this out as much as they possibly can. If they keep that up, they'll find a tier 3 tower of their own very soon.
Yeah, that's some pretty smart play coming out from TNC, just maximizing that relocate. They know they can't take these fights, so they just take objectives. And it has been paying off to a certain extent so far. Take a look at the KP as well. You have to remember, if there is an opening, they can Dark Rift in and really push hard. You have to be very aware of that Underlord's presence around the map.
And
Haven't seen it happen yet.
Nando's playing with fire with this Invis rune. He's feeling very confident just running through the map. So that Roshan you talked about may finally be taken out. Though no, Cignal. It's baiting us out a bit. They've given enough time now that the Satanic is up on Gabby. Suddenly Gabby isn't hitting so low anymore. He's actually kind of up there in net worth, and he's basically your standard gyrocopter now. He's going to have the Maelstrom up, the Mjolnir up soon as well. TNC, I mean, they've dragged this out so long that, I mean, Cignal Ultra, I mean, you still have faith in the sniper, but...
Relocate.
Dire's bottom
At tier 3. Might be gone.
Remnant in, Nando wants to punish Tims, gets Spirit Vesseled, and well, there's the Astral Toss. They'll find one. Gabby BKBTB, Tree Volley, it's a lot of damage, Van, he'll dunk him. There's the tip straight off the bat.
They
They
got
did-
to tier 3.
They got the tier 3. They got what they came for, but it does cost them heavily. And Cignal have two options. Go for a tier 3 tower or Rax, or go for the Roshan. Looks like they may opt for the Roshan.
Yeah, it's the safer choice. It will secure them that high ground as well, so Roche is going to be taking no contestation coming out from TNC, not with those two heroes dead. And they're just going to have to give that up.
Now KP actually has a hard up on the Underlord. So getting a lot tankier. Zero. TNC just not anywhere near this Roshan pit. They're just not interested.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack. Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
Mel actually has an Eye of Skadi up now as well. And he's going to go into that Hurricane Pike, and it's a very late one on the OD, but it just feels like it's necessary. We'll see the relocate once again from Gabby and Tims. They'll go back down to that bot lane and keep forcing it in. Try to slow siege this Rax. Never allow the side of Cignal Ultra to feel comfortable on this map.
They have been doing a really spot-on job there. Just still finding these objectives around the map. Still forcing pressure onto Cignal. In fact, a smoke Dark Rift.
I like this. You'd never assume TNC would be down to the bot lane this fast, but if they can find a team fight, they could take a really quick Rax, and you never really know. They could finish the game, in fact. Buyback statuses? Still a lot up. So not quite there, but the sniper doesn't have the gold for it. Van will show up. Immediate hex from Armel. They're going to punish. They're going for more. Jamesy, he can't die like this. He doesn't have buyback available.
Oh, no.
Era's tree volley. Avalanche toss, protect this sniper. It's going to be enough for now, but the sanities has been dropped. Sniper's still alive, though they do go down. Van saving the day for now. Armel getting chased down by Jamesy. Can they take the OD down? Well, of course they can, but Tims is trying to relocate him out while he can. Armel still surviving. Not quite. Eris, assassinate. Tims will get out just in the nick of time. And somehow Cignal Ultra, they still win the team fight.
That did cost them a dieback on their axe, but they do manage to hold out. They did actually did they? Yeah, no, they actually managed to hold out there. They lost the Aegis, not the biggest loss in the world. It looked decent, but they overextended for TNC. Now they might lose KP.
He has a hard, he's pretty darn tanky. He has Dark Rift in 15 seconds. He just needs to buy himself time. He doesn't have much of it though, as Eris jumps in with the Avalanche toss. Still, pipes up. 3 more seconds. That's all he needs. And there it is.
My purpose fulfilled.
See ya. Still, the mid lane is being pushed in by Jamesy.
Under attack.
Not the fastest siege in the world just by himself, but he's getting the work done. And he'll move forward onto KP, but of course he did learn the hard way. KP is very, very tanky right now. The Sniper Illusion's really helping the cause out thanks to that Shadow Demon. Mid-Rax March, he'll go in with the Hex. There's just no follow-up to the Ember. Tree volley's being thrown. Eris, he cleans up the mid-Rax, but now Gabby wants to go for it. Eris, he will force stuff himself out and get out. Jamesy does manage to get out of there. Pit of Malice wasn't there in time. Nando will surely get out as well.
Rune of invisibility.
And so we do finally have the first Rax of the game going the way of Cignal Ultra at 46 minutes into this game. And win probability still at around the same mark.
Yep, it's wild. The game doesn't think it's done yet. I mean, you look at the net spread advantage, it's 14k, 13k. It's been climbing steadily for Cignal, to be fair. But it's really not as high as you'd expect. They are being kept in check by the farming capabilities in TNC. They are playing catch-up quite well. You are seeing Gabby now, who does, again, work towards that Mjolnir. I believe he has the gold, but not the gold with buyback. So he's saving up for that. And once that's up, of course, his damage does shoot up. Still a lot of room to grow, as he still has slots available.
Eris finally going for that Daedalus and the Tiny, and that's the one thing he was missing with the tree volleys. Just didn't have any sort of crit to try and crit off the tree volley, but with that Daedalus, things will be much, much easier for him. Of course, Mjolnir does get completed up by Gabby. He'll need more gold for the buyback. Just about 700 gold, in fact, but he'll have plenty of time to farm that up. Cignal Ultra aren't really anywhere near to try and force a fight.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
TNC, they do kind of get started on that top shrine now as well. It's basically just Gabby's side gunner getting that work done.
Dire's top shrine has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
Jamesy's just hit 30k net worth on the sniper. As the Daedalus up, is going for the Moonshard. Closely followed by his own Ember Nando, who has gone pure utility build on this Ember. Has an Octarine core now. They are going to chase. They want to find a pick off. Who will they actually catch there? It is going to be March on the Shadow Shaman. So an easy pickup, but Nando, he's going to find Armel, and that's the one they want. Avalanche is there. Toss from Eris. Tree volleys. He astrals. He needs some help. But Van is already waiting.
Oh.
And Armel gets dropped.
My purpose fulfilled.
Those are massive kills going the way of Cignal. Just finding that OD, taking him out, forcing the buyback in case they go to the high ground, because they definitely need Armel in these fights. That's going to be big. Are they going to force it out now? I mean, there's no reason not to. They've got the farm. They've got the map control. Just go for it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
See Jamesy, he'll get started with the sniper. Buyback from March. Eris, hit a balance, will hold him in place, he'll be okay. And the sniper just slowly sieging away this tower. Well, Ember just jumps straight in on the IO Tims. In trouble, though Nando is kind of surrounded. Gabby, he's not hitting softly anymore. Nando, you've got to be careful. They break the Lincolns. Remnant forward. He'll be alright for now, but Nando is dropping low. James, he's still trying to hit up the melee barracks. Relocate. Just for the bounties. TNC being very efficient, although Eris will find him. And well, there's a remnant forward. Nando suddenly shows up. They wanted to dunk. They will not. The assassinate will take it. Cignal say we don't need a relocate to get down to that bounty route spot.
Yeah, Nando's just been on point with his remnant usage. Just finding every single thing. There's no buyback in Tim's. He doesn't... Well, he does have the gold. It's actually super cheap for him. But he doesn't have the time. It's about 2 minutes off. So that's a massive opening here for Cignal if they so opt to abuse that.
Cignal may have an attempt at this bot, Rax. They have a double siege creep wave.
Radiant's bottom
Heroes, though, aren't really showing up, but the Rax is under siege now. Jamesy gonna move in. He's been a very objective-based kind of sniper, but he'll get started on KP. Jump in, avalanche toss, Eris, that's the start they needed. Gabby, he'll pop the Satanic straight off the bat. The tree volley though, Eris, it's so much damage, he'll still survive. Armel with the Astro, but now Van jumps in with the core. They found the OD, they found the gyrocopter. Can Armel go down? BKB up, Nando, he needs to get the hell out of there again. March, he'll be the target, he's gone. Armel, not in a good spot, he gets called, he goes down as well. KP now, still pretty darn tanky on the Underlord. The buyback will be there from the OD. Jamesy hitting again as a sniper. You can't afford to get hit too many times as Van has another call on the OD. KP apparently is just the target. Armel jumps in with the sanities and he finds Jamesy. This could be the turn they needed. Call down from Gabby. They buy back. A triple for Armel. He's basically carrying this team on his own right now. As the rest of Cignal just back the hell out of there. They do not find a secondary racks.
They did find the top racks, the mid racks at the very least, cleaning up from being shoved in. So that gives them a slight advantage there. And again, you are seeing Cignal slowly chipping away, but TNC, they still have the power to stay in this game. Off the back of RML, they have expended buybacks. This is a very scary time for them. Nando goes in!
Whew.
Oh, God.
Nando, take it easy.
Jesus, if he found his kills, that would have been over. Oh.
The Roshan's being taken now. That's the second Roshan of the game. Does have the Aegis and Cheese. Cignal Ultra probably won't be there in time if they wanted to contest. And I don't think they even know it's happening. So Nando, Remnant, forward, he goes in, Gabby, he will pick it up. Nando tries for it. Mel will not be able to get a Hex off. A nice attempt, and the ball's on Nando to try that. Doing some risky plays, John.
I mean, he's been on point, right? When you're on fire like this, you really don't stop. Does have 7k in the bank as well. I'm not sure what exactly you spend on at this point as the Ember Spirit.
He still hasn't died, by the way. 16 and 0.
16 to 0. It's pretty wild. But he's always been that star player of Cignal, right? We've seen it in every series they've played. He's the guy that's on point, that's taking charge.
Yep, but John, he's playing against TNC.
It's even much more amazing that he's holding up really well. Cignal overall, with a surprise performance over TNC, when anyone else would have written them off. It's just, just like Execration would have been written off some time ago. But they are giving it to TNC.
Eris going to spot out double damage down at the bot rune, and this will really help the cause for Cignal. Jamesy or Nando? Looks like it'll be Jamesy. How do you close the gap between here and the bot tower? Well, you'll just smoke up. It's almost like you would have loved to see a Desolator on that sniper just to really be able to siege those towers a bit easier. As Jamesy isn't really hitting the towers that hard. But with this double damage, it would help the cause quite a bit. Scythe the Vice now will come up on Nando. So even more control from him. This is a very late Scythe the Vice, but it is going to surprise the hell out of TNC. But look at TNC, they're just pushing in the top lane. Do they even come back to defend? They both will TP. It looks like March will go by himself with the Serpent Wards and perhaps trying to push in a Rax. Jamesy gets started on Gabby. He doesn't have that double damage anymore. Avalanche. Eris. Not going to jump yet. Meanwhile, March is still on his solo mission on the Shadow Shaman. Being very cautious. Nando will come in, clean up, already looking for March, and in fact he does find him. Chains won't connect. March hexes up, goes for the TP play. Will he make it out in time? The Chains, no, the Scythe device. They catch him. Oh, March, no buyback available, but this could be an opening for TNC down at the bot lane. Cignal, however, do not give them one. Now Nando can just push this top lane out and join his brethren back down to the bot lane very, very soon.
It's been a rough time for March as well. He's been trying hard. He's been trying to find those openings, but Cignal has been on point very hard. Oh,
Gabby, Avalanche toss. They don't force out the BKB yet from Gabby. He holds on. They are going to be aware about that Scythe device now on the Ember, though. They'll get the range racks. Nando, he's thinking about it. Gets the chains off on Gabby. Spirit Vessel there too. Gabby is getting low. Eris, Avalanche costs a lot of damage. Still no BKB being popped. Gabby's turning around. Sanity's RML. He'll jump in and start the team fight. Bando, he gets the call. It's the one he needs. Jamesy is there with the damage as well. He needs to get the hell out of there. The sniper, Grimm's trying to get out as well. They cancel the Dark Rift. Van is falling very, very low. They relocate forward with RML. They'll get the axe, or rather the Shadow Demon. Jamesy has to man fight up. He goes down as well. And TNC, they're pushing it back. They're not allowing Cignal Ultra They're denying them this bot Rax. Just waiting for their opportunity. And I'm starting to wonder, John, how long till we see some Divine Rapiers coming out?
Just walking past. Divines. Ooh, that's a rough one to say because it doesn't feel like the damage is lacking. I'll be frank. In fact, for TNC, it doesn't feel like it's lacking, but it's starting to feel like Cignal might consider it. They do catch Nando.
Nando's copying a lot of damage. KP!
Missiles up.
Will be able to get out of there. He got the double damage rune on the Ember.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
They'll get the bot shrine for the side of TNC now.
Dire's
We're almost at that 1 hour mark, and TNC are going to try and force these buybacks. Aegis does expire. Gabby, though, will get started on that bot Rax. Serpent wants to drop as well. They're going to hold on to these buybacks for now. They'll be okay with losing one lane of Rax on the side of Cignal.
Dire's middle tower is under
So that mid tier 2 is dropping fairly fast. They may lose another Rax if they're not too careful about this. Nando jumps in by himself, Remnants out. He's just trying to drag out the time. Meanwhile, the bot lane, John, it's being pushed in by the creep wave. So TNC, they may be forced to back off. And yeah, Gabby, he'll just go back. Clear out this creep wave. That's a hell of a lot of money. Gabby, he's almost got 10k in the bank.
He's going for the Divine. He's
Good.
queued it up.
About time.
What's he going to replace, though? He's going for the Abyssal first.
Or bot lane. Nando, he's caught out March. Still, Astral will save him for now. Nando, the BKB, gonna wear off soon. He gets out of there. Now thinking about jumping back in as the rest of his team are here to join with the smoke. Just looking for the target. Mel's the one they really want. Van may just find him as his smoke breaks. He blinks in and gets the call, but his teammates aren't there yet. Tree volleys coming in. Mel still sustaining a lot of this damage. He'll just turn around onto this axe. Blade Mail, Jamesy pops the BKB as well. Avalanche on KP, just trying to hold them back with his sniper. He's way too far forward. Gabby takes him out. He does have buyback, but they've lost their main source of damage. Meanwhile, in the back, Grims finds March. The battle of the supports. Mel will interrupt it though. Remnant forward, they still want the OD. Nando gets inside the vice. The tree volleys. Mel so low. Still Astral's up.
Oh.
He'll survive. March, he gets the Hex up on the Ember. Can they save Mel? They definitely can. He survives the call as well. Van, he's got to hold on. The Avalanche, they finally find the OD. But it doesn't look good enough, as the rest of Cignal are falling quite low. And Eris will go down as well. It's a 3-for-1 trade. Buybacks are still available on both sides. Van, homing missile, is going to get him. The relocate as well. You thought it was over, Van. It is not. Regen Rune does nothing. Gabby going to continue the chase. Van hoping this Blade Mail does something. It will not, however, and he will also go down.
What? A 4-for-1 trade, 21 to 45, 60 minutes in. Down to a 5k lead for Cignal after a domineering start. And suddenly it's just dead even. In fact, it's an advantage for TNC according to Dota Plus. What the hell is going on here, Mike?
This is classic SEA Dota, as you always tell me, John.
It definitely is.
When you don't know what's happening in Dota, it must be SEA. They will
Buybacks are flying out.
Well, they have to. They don't want to lose a secondary Rax. Grims gonna go forward, gets the disruption. Van gets the call. Avalanche toss is nice with the Dark Rift. It's one of the strengths about the Underlord. You force the buybacks, you Dark Rift, and get the hell out of there. And suddenly Cignal Ultra now are losing a lot of their buyback statuses. In fact, a lot of their cores just don't have it. In fact, all of them don't have it.
Ooh. This is a really big opening for TNC, just exploiting that one fight. And, some confused item building from Gabby. It looks like he will synthesize his Ags. Okay. Gets travels up. Finishes the Abyssal. Or at least he queues up the travels. Doesn't buy it. Not enough for travels and buyback. Fair enough. So he does ditch the Divine Rapier, Mike. I'm sure you must be disappointed.
Well, someone's got to get one. You don't just go over an hour in a pro game and not get some Divine Rapiers.
Oh, James, he's still working towards a satanic, so it's not gonna be him.
Very disappointing, Jamesy.
Yeah, it's a shame he's playing smart, Mike.
Radiant are scanning.
Cignal have to be so careful. Any of their cores die and TNC may just win out the game. Nando? Be scary, Nando. You gotta be careful about those. Smoke will come out from TNC.
Oh, Mike, Gabby has the Divine queued up again.
Good. I mean, it kind of makes sense. He does have an ability that makes him attack multiple units, John. Does tend to be pretty good with the Divine.
Oh. They might catch Jamesy.
Jamesy, oh, the Hex is there from Armel, though Disruption will save. The rest of the team, Van needs to get in there. Jamesy pops the BKB, but it's too much damage. Nando, he can't stop them. Jamesy's gone. He has buyback. He'll pop it straight away. Armel still survives through the Astral. The toss back, Nando, he's dead. No buyback available. They've lost the axe as well. Oh, this is super bad for Cignal Ultra. As Eris, he gets hexed up. He's dead. No buyback available. And the Dark Rift straight down to the bot lane, TNC. It looks like they may have pulled off the victory, John. And Jamesy, I mean, well, there's the Divine coming out on Gabby. No time wasted. The buyback will come out from the Shadow Demon, but I don't know what he's going to do. It's all up to Jamesy on the sniper, and he's sitting in the fountain right now. This is GG, yeah, they'll call it. 64 minutes in, TNC will take the first game.
What? 26 to 45 at 64 minutes. Suddenly a 14k lead for TNC at the end. After Cignal kept TNC at single digits for at least 40 minutes, Mike. And we end up like this. Just a couple of bad fights from Cignal. And TNC exploits it. They show us the difference in tiering and why they are the favorites. It looked like they were just gone after 20 minutes. Gabby could not farm up. They hold out. They find some smart fights. They build off Armel. They trust in KP's Underlord to somehow make use of that farm. And it pays off in the end.
It certainly does. And to think the Australian... Well, I'm not even going to say that. Armel basically won TNC this game. I mean, Armel, how long did Armel carry this team for before Gabby was online?
So long.
I don't
like,
even...
He just found all the kills. And he worked towards that site. Once that was up, that gave TNC the chance to take some fights. Not a lot, but enough.
With that, John, believe it or not, it is a best-of-2 series. So we do have a second game between these two teams, and we should jump into the lobby very, very soon in case it starts. It's MLP Dota and Jonix Fire. Don't go anywhere. This is only getting started, this series. We'll be right back in just a moment to see how it all closes out.